river rats and a lot of things like that, as they were making their way down here. And I do believe there was a tweet that was put out by Shelly Miller at halftime, how she was watching the best athlete she's ever seen in her life.
Shelly Meyer, yeah. I guess she had been in the press box. She was tweeting and texting everybody. After the game, I got
for younger kids is you never know who's going to be sitting in the bleachers, sitting in the press box, sitting on the hillside.
Experience. After that game, I always thought I was pretty good at football for around this area. Once you start getting letters and stuff like that, going on visits, it's an experience you got to go. You got to go out and experience. One of those things where you really got to go out and experience it, and it's an opportunity like that.
Yeah.
As an alumni, how do you feel about that game being week 6 now?
Different, to not open up your season playing the Tigers, seeing orange and black field in whatever stadium.
That was week 7 we played there.
Okay. We're just brewing it up now.
That's right. That's right.
It was fantastic. Wright State, Ohio State, back to Wright State, and now in the G League. I would just talk about that.
Tonight was like, I'm going to prove that Wheelersburg is Wheelersburg, and I'm Tanner.
It's one of those things, I was blessed enough, my parents and everybody who supported me. I played AAU for so long against a lot of those guys. Honestly, just basketball players. For us in Southern Ohio, that's a lot different. Honestly, we had nothing to lose. We were expected to lose.
Money.
Going out there to play. That was one of those games. Going into the senior year, I had a lot of confidence, and I think that kind of propelled me into my senior year.
So, Gavin, going into that, how did the recruiting process go, and how did you end up landing?
My junior year, I was definitely tossing basketball, football, what do I want to do. That's a blessing in itself. But the door to where I don't have to follow my dad's Hall of Fame footsteps.
Yeah.
And that was nice. And Wright State came along. It all worked out for the best. It's one of those things that's kind of behind a closed door. You got to open up another one and kind of see what that is.
Yeah, Gavin.
Tonight for Berg Sports Network. So I want to ask you, whenever you're in the process of you go to Ohio State for the year, walking in that night after the basketball game here, and as we turned on the TV, you were throwing.
You kind of know it's right. You don't want to jump into it, but I think once I talk ready to win, I think that was the biggest thing. Whenever you want to win, it kind of negates everything else emotionally. So I think.
Pre-med, and so I'm going to give him a little bit of a shout out. He will be a manager for Coach Diebler this year. In his interview process the other night. It was a 1-year deal. It was something 10 years down the road, what if, right?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, whenever I enter my name in the portal, that was definitely a hectic time. I had a lot of good you always dream about being an Ohio State Buckeye, playing for the Ohio State team, and obviously being from Ohio. NBA caliber guys, Bryce Sensabaugh is with the Jazz now, and a lot of other people who are really regamed. So I think it's one of those things that prepared me going into the G League this year. The year before I went to Ohio
State. Right? You guys had a run in. The career you've had, from a basketball. The one question was,
so happy on how my basketball career ended up, and all the people I got to meet, and all the experiences I had. It's just one of those things. I was so blessed. Guys I was around every day. It was so enjoyable to be around everybody since I was in 3rd grade and going to high school. It was athletic kid who can go play there.
So speaking of, recently married, right?
Yes.
So recently married. So how did it all come about for you make it to the G League?
Yeah, so it was actually a thumb, last game. So I had to have surgery, so I was kind of out for 6 weeks. Still working out. You're going to therapy. Seasons are changing. You're getting calls for overseas. They just don't really seem like the right fit. I was kind of weight camp. But I felt like I did well. They said I did well, but it's just a numbers game. 3 days after Christmas, hey, I got you with the text. I'm like, all right, when's our first game? It's like, I flew in, game the next day, get into the NBA. And it was a great experience for me. I thought I played really well. Unfortunately ended up with you dream of it for so long, and to finally get a grasp of it, it's awesome.
So speaking of the injury, you had the injury, you're in rehab. How's rehab going, and what's your future?
It's one of those things you got to go through. I'm not being punished. I'm being positioned for something that I don't really know.
Awesome. So With that being said, Hines, you want to get into tonight's picks? So there's the game for this Saturday. There's several big games, but Texas and Ohio State in.
I was really leaning hard on Texas, but I've been in Ohio Stadium. Ohio State also has the best player in the country. I'll say by 10.
I got Ohio State scores like 28-17, Ohio State.
Hines?
I hope they're right.
I'm going Buckeyes. I do think, though, like, there's a lot of hype with the Archie Manning. I just don't think he's ever seen pressure like he's going to get tomorrow at high. Anyway, those guys older, especially in the SOC. I'm going to go with Notre Dame. Go get them Titans. So
points on the board last week, but Chesapeake got steamrolled by Sins Valley.
Small school now, Coach Hager there.
I was kind of, I don't really know.
I think Mitford got a little bit better from last year, but I think Chesapeake.
Rivalry tonight, Portsmouth at Portsmouth West. Radar, who you got?
I was at the West game last week, and the quarterback runs outside the tackles. Portsmouth, they're going to run the ball a lot. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think, but I think Portsmouth.
I think Portsmouth's closer, but I think West finds a way to win tonight.
I got.
That's tough, and they're
Kentucky football.
They're a basketball school as well. I'm going with Rock Hill in this one.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Rock Hill. I don't know anything about Boyd County.
Who you got?
Ooh. I really like Rock Hill, but I think Boyd pulls that one out. Is that Eastern for that one?
Medford at Chesapeake.
Chesapeake.
Portsmouth at Portsmouth West.
Ooh.
3, 2.
McNeil and Anthony Aaron combined for 500.
I'm following them. I guess I'm going Valley too.
Right.
Gotta go Valley.
I mean, I don't even know where Fayetteville is. Ironton versus Liberty Christian Academy, who has won, I believe.
Listen, Liberty Christian Academy, not a lot of people know exactly where they're at, but they're literally on the campus of Liberty University.
I knew nothing about Shelby Valley. I did not know.
I don't believe Ironton did either when they scheduled.
Yes, I did not know. I apologize.
Man, I hate to go against Southern Ohio team. Both teams defending state champ. So that brings up final game of the night. We are here at the Ed.
A little bit of insight into this game because I've looked into it for the guys that we're going to be watching tonight. You all already know my pick, but matters. Wheelersburg's winning.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close, but I've got Wheelersburg with an upset over Ironton. Good possibility. Give me Wheelersburg in this one.
Give me Wheelersburg by 1 million, man.
By 1 million.
Yeah, I think this place is about ready to be rocked.
2 minutes.
Listen, this place is the Ed is a hard place to play.
Yeah.
It's one of the very few high school stadiums you'll go see that does not have a to go. I mean, McNick had to bus right down from Claremont County. Game tonight, kicking the ball.
Probably about 60 yarders.
Yeah,
70.
So,
70.
We're moving on in the season. We're going to have some more records and more special guests. The SOC, and who's going to win the Natty?
Remember,
Tiebreaker question.
Ironton's not in the OVC anymore.
SOC Berg. Natty, I'm going to go. It's hard to go back to back, man. I think I'm going to have to go Texas.
a shout out to all of our sponsors. The Portsmouth Brewing Company, the UPS store. Thank you to our sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And again, a lot of opportunity to come in, hang out with us for a little bit before the game, give us your. Follow us on social media. Make sure you follow us. RCSM 740, Twitter, Instagram. With that being said, Gavin, final words?
I'm excited tonight.
Follow us at RCSM 740, all platforms include.